Welcome back to the 25 Days of Puppy Christmas Card Ideas, where we're helping you to decide what you're going to do for your Christmas card with your dogs this year, and 24 ideas for your social media advent calendar leading up to the big reveal of your Christmas card. This one's incredibly easy. All you need is your card and a cute wreath.
The 25 Days of Puppy Christmas Card series can be done with one or many dogs, created with a traditional camera or your phone, done in your house or outside, and range from elegant and refined to fun and quirky, so there's a fit for everyone. And don't forget, these photo shoot ideas also make for great social media advent calendars, even if they aren't all going to be used on your Christmas cards. If you're using a traditional camera, I recommend you set up a remote shutter release through a clicker or an app on your phone so you can take photos from where you're posed. If you're using your phone, I recommend you set it to cinematic video and take screenshots of the best frames after, since pups tend to move around a lot and you don't want to stress over missing the shot. Each of these episodes is designed for a specific card template that will link in the caption, but you can use this on whatever template works best for you.
For this one, you are going to go park somewhere that's cute, that has a cute background, and you're going to grab a wreath. Now, you may want your camera source to be a little further away than mine is so that you can get your wreath hanging out of your car, and all you need to do is put your dog in a cute little Christmas bandana, let them stick their heads out. I do recommend having their harness on and clipping them in with their seatbelt so they can't jump out. And you're then just going to be able to take your photos with your puppy and just hold your wreath out at different angles. You can lean back, have your puppy up front, you can have your puppy behind you, whatever works best for you, and then you're going to be able to design your Christmas card. Drop your photo into Photoshop or whichever photo editing platform you are going to be using, and we're going to start with our color adjustments on this one. So you're going to go into a brightness and contrast panel, and you are going to bump up the brightness just slightly in most cases, and you're going to play into the contrast. So really pull that up. Do not let yourself go too harsh with that. That's not going to look good, but you do want to really lean into the brightness and contrast for this one. Now we are going to do a local retouching, so if you need to use your spot heal tool to clean up your puppy's eyes or for stray fur on you or on your puppy, if there's any dirt on your car that you need to tweak, you can do that now. And then we're going to really lean into the rest of our editing. So the first thing I'm noticing is that the wreath is not quite as popping as I want it to be. So I'm going to use my lasso tool. I'm going to grab most of that wreath and I'm going to go back into a brightness and contrast panel. Now, depending on how you photograph this, it may require something slightly different. So you may need to go up for this in brightness, or you may need to drag it down in brightness depending on the rest of the colors in your image. Either way, you want to make sure you're pulling up that contrast. So you're going to find where you think it pops, and then you're going to use your soft round brush, 100% opacity. Make sure it's soft round brush, and you are just going to go over parts of that wreath. Now, if the way that you chose worked and it popped the way you want, you're good. Otherwise, try sliding it now that you've painted it on so that you can get to where you want to go. So you can see how you can go to either side of that spectrum, and then you can just play with it from there. So the more you paint it on, the better it's going to be. And maybe you need parts of it that are a little bit more contrasty and parts that are a little bit less. So maybe you need to go in and you actually need to darken some of it down, but brighten just part of it. You can actually do that and then just paint it on to the areas that you need to pop a little bit more. So you can actually color tone this by going darker and brighter on different areas. From there, the next thing I'm noticing is that in my window here, we've got a lot that we can see. So I can either come in with my spot heal tool, make sure I'm on the background layer, and I can just remove anything that I don't like here, the signage and things. But if I really want to just kind of fix that and make it a little more professional looking, like for this one I used my phone to do this, so it doesn't have the professional edge that my camera would have. I'm going to want to blur that background so that the focus is here and not everything is in focus. So I'm going to duplicate that layer, and I'm going to go up to filter. I'm going to go down to blur and to Gaussian blur. Now I'm specifically watching the window. Where do I want to get the window to be blurry enough? I don't want it to be insanely blurry, but I do want to remove some of that detail. So that looks pretty good for me. I kind of like how it blurs that out a little bit. I could go a little bit more on it. I can also pay attention to the upper corner here. So I'm going to pay attention to both of those things. Where does it look like a good layer of blurriness? I'm going to click OK on this. And now I'm going to add my layer mask. It looks like a rectangle with a circle in it. And I'm going to hit Command I. That inverts it. Now on my brush setting, soft round brush, 100% opacity, white, I'm going to paint it back in. So now I can just come in and I can paint where I need that. And if I'm getting too close to something like the wreath, all I have to do is reduce the opacity of my brush and make it nice and small. And then I can go right in there and get part of that. I'm just cleaning up the rest of this before I do that. I'm just going to go right over that seat edge. If I need to, I can hit my X key to go back to the toggle between the white and the black. There you go. And then I'm just going to, on a lower opacity, kind of tap on the edges of that wreath where it's not going to show a ton. Now I can also do this in the background for those trees, so I can just kind of paint right on over that, right up to the car line. And you can see how it's kind of toning that down just a little bit. And if you need to get a smaller size brush to kind of go along the edge of your car, you can. If you go onto your car too much and you can clearly tell, like right here, I'm just going to go in and refine that just a little bit and make sure that I get all of it, because if I miss any of it, it will show quite strikingly inside of my image. So I'm just going right along that edge with a nice small brush to make sure I've got everything that I'm going to need there. And maybe I want it backed off just a little bit. Maybe this is just too much when it all is said and done. So I will just be able to take my layer and reduce that opacity down to make it a little more on the realistic side. Now, if I am looking at this and perchance I do not like the coloring here, I can actually come in here. I can use my lasso tool, and then I'll go down to my hue and saturation panel, at which point I can pull back that saturation, make it a little bit darker there. See how that works? And then I can just paint that on, and I can tweak that if I need to as well. So now all of a sudden it's not quite as bright, and it's going to draw the attention more so to where we want it to be focused, right here with me and the pup. So that is an easy way for you to be able to do that. If you need to, then you can grab the outside of your car with a lasso tool, go into your contrast panel. This time we're just playing with our contrast. Maybe you want to bump down the brightness, whatever works best for you. And you're going to just be able to then tweak the outside of the car to kind of bring all that coloring in, however you are going to want that to play out with your image. I'm just going to back off of that just a little bit. There we go. Now we're going to drop it into our template. Then drop your image into your card. We've got this really cute overlay for you that plays up that kind of holiday package list. If you're delivering yourself for Christmas, so we've got the ribbon that goes across kind of as an off-center border, which is really nice. It gives you space that you can be writing messages or signing your names, and it kind of wraps it up really cute. And bonus points, if your wreath has bows in it, we'll tie that in it as well. And if it doesn't, that acts as the bow that isn't on the wreath and kind of really plays up that angle for you too. So we kind of got this gift that we're giving to people, and you're sending this as a gift to your loved ones of you, so they've got that really cute image, and it has most of that image clear. So you can use this, and you can even bump it over to the side if you don't want the entire thing there. But this is a really nice way to kind of bring back that traditional feel with the gifting, with the ribbon, with the red colors, and that will play into some of the images that you've got inside of your card as well. Make sure you're going more with that classic, nostalgic, timeless look for this particular card, because this is something people have done for ages, jumping in their car, going to see family on the holidays, going for Christmas dinner, going to unwrap presents. All of those things are just classic and nostalgic and timeless, and things we have done since the very beginning of our family in our recent years. So your grandparents did it, your parents did it, you're doing it, your kids are going to do it. This just brings back all of those really good classic feels, and that is what we want to play up inside of this card. I do recommend going with a single image for your card and using an overlay or a frame for this one. You want to do something that kind of matches the outdoorsy theme of this. So pick colors in your wreath. The browns and the greens and the whites might be good. Or if you have red elements inside of what your dog is wearing or what you're wearing, that will work as well. And you're just going to go with something along the lines of traveling or some of those standard classic Merry Christmas things on your card. And if you love this one and want more ideas, we are giving you 24 more ideas that you can use on your social media or for your Christmas card this year as you are deciding what you're doing with your puppies for Christmas. Come back for more episodes. My dog's really excited for you to come back for more, and she wants to go explore now, so we'll see you in the next episode.